Hi, I'm Steve Bourie, and I'm the author of The American Casino Guide book. If you're not familiar with us, please be sure to visit our website at americancasinoguidebook.com. Joining me today is my son and the editor of The American Casino Guide book, Matt Bourie.
How's it going, everybody? And our video today is an update on Atlantic City Casino's reopening for April 13th, 2021.
All right, today we're going to take a look at the reopening of the casinos as of April 13th, 2021. Now, we've done this for Las Vegas casinos. We did that with Anthony Curtis, who publishes a newsletter. And today our guest is Darryl McEwen. He also publishes a monthly newsletter, but his is 7starsinsider.com. It's about how to get the most for your benefits and Caesars Entertainment's highest level. But Darryl makes most of his gambling trips to Atlantic City. He lives near there, and he's going to refresh us on the situation in Atlantic City casinos.
Yeah, he has a bi-weekly column called Mr. AC Casino that he writes for the Atlantic City Weekly, and he also writes a separate monthly column on Atlantic City gambling for TravelZork.com. So again, here is Darryl McEwen.
Darryl McEwen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks. How about you guys?
We're doing well. Now the last time we spoke to you, we looked it up back in 2017. We did an interview with you about casino comps, and you're an expert on casino comps, but also you're a recreational slot player yourself, and you do most of your play in Atlantic City. So you are the expert in Atlantic City. You also write about it for some publications. So we wanted to get an update. Today's April 13th, 2021, and we want to get an update on the status of what's happening in Atlantic City casinos. We've done this with Anthony Curtis in Las Vegas. So Darryl, you are now our expert on Atlantic City, and we wanted to run these questions by you. You all set? Okay,
sure.
Good. All right, so number one, initially, how did Atlantic City react to the pandemic, and what precautions did they take?
Well, in a word or two, they closed. The governor decided to close the casinos, I believe, from March almost through July. Early July, they reopened, or late June. So everybody was, pretty much shut down. Restaurants, the casinos, the hotels.
I believe they were closed down a lot longer than Las Vegas, right?
They were, yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. And there still are. Things have opened a bit, and they've changed in the last few weeks. But the casinos and the restaurants are still at 35%. It doesn't look empty, even when it's quote unquote full. I was there last Saturday night, as a matter of fact, and it seemed busy. So. I think people are just anxious to get away, and they're willing to take a chance if they need be. But there are so many precautions with so many slot machines shut down, so there's certainly at least 6 feet between players. Same with the tables in the restaurants and the lounges. So they're doing all they can. It's unfortunate. They're still making money, but not as much as they used to.
Yeah. Now, is it any different now than it was earlier in the pandemic? Because I know Vegas, they were stricter earlier, and then they've sort of relaxed a bit and opened more stuff up. Have they been opening in stages in Atlantic City? Or?
Exactly. Yeah, I think, as I said, the last one went from 35% to 50%. Mm-hmm. So that's helpful. And as I say, it doesn't look like things are shut down or there are any capacity limitations. There are plenty of people there. So I don't know, and I'm not sure how they're enforcing the actual physical bodies, that other than to assume that if somebody's not seated at a slot machine, that's not a person. But we all know there are spouses and partners and friends who are also there at the same time, and so they're not counted apparently in that 50%.
Now, let me ask you this. At the casinos near us, they have to take your temperature and everything before you walk in. Or like thermal imaging. Are they doing that in Atlantic City as well, or?
They are, yes. They do. I don't know what the machines are. They look like little water guns, and they put up to your forehead and take your temperature. So no, everybody's doing that. At first, not everybody was, but in the last month or so, everybody has gotten on the bandwagon with that.
I assume everyone has to wear a mask.
Everyone has to wear a mask. As I said earlier, the 6 feet social distancing. You can take your mask off if you're having a cocktail, at the machine you're playing. But that was something you were talking about, interim steps. For a while, the governor was not allowing any alcohol or any beverages at all in the casino. And so that was the latest change that now can be. And then it went to service was cut off at 10 o'clock. And now it's back to essentially 24 hours, and you can take your mask off when you're sipping your drink.
Oh, good. Now, I was reading an article just the other day saying that for 2020, Atlantic City casinos lost 80% of their business, and 7 of the 9 casinos still managed to make some money. 2 lost money, but do you read any articles about how business is right now relative to, well, obviously it was bad last year, they lost 80%.
Yeah, well, all the statistics are at least a month off. So I think those numbers you saw, Steve, probably were pretty accurate. What's helping them and what's making up the difference is the online gaming. People are really switching to online gaming. If they need their gambling fix, they can just go to their laptop or their smartphone and play away. It's something I frankly am not interested in. For me, gambling is the whole picture. Going out to dinner and having a few cocktails, staying over at a hotel, and just the atmosphere of being around people. Seeing friends. I mean, I think that's what I've missed most about this pandemic. Not only with the casinos, but just seeing other people and rubbing elbows and being with them. I ran into a friend Saturday night, as a matter of fact, and we had the nicest visit. We hadn't seen each other in more than a year, so it was nice to reconnect.
And for those people that aren't familiar, what Darryl just said is that the New Jersey legalized online casinos. So if you are anywhere inside the state, you can gamble on your phone or on your laptop, however you want.
Yes.
But not outside the state. So
yes,
if you're in another state,
you have to be physically inside the state.
Exactly. Pennsylvania has, one of our neighboring states here. They have the same thing, as does Delaware. So it's I think eventually going to turn into online gaming, everywhere. But probably with those parameters that you have to be physically located in the state.
Now, I was going to ask you about some changes. I know you're a big player yourself, so you probably don't have to pay for hotel rooms. But have you noticed a change in the hotel rates?
Not really. I see the ads that pop up, when I sign on to one of the player portals. But I know last weekend I was checking on rates for some friends who were going to be visiting, and Caesars was in the 300 and high 300 range. So that was Easter weekend. I mean, maybe a holiday weekend is different, but and of course, again, those are advertised prices. I'm sure there are negotiations and discounts that are available if you're a veteran or you're a member of AAA or something like that. But I was a little surprised at that. But as you say, Matt, I rarely pay. Well, I don't think I've ever paid for a room, but so it's hard for me to comment on that. But I think they're doing okay.
All right. What about the parking fees? Because I know most people don't know that the parking fees originated in Atlantic City. They've sort of always charged for parking. Have they waived any of those fees at all? Have you noticed?
No. Matter of fact, and you can get free parking almost anywhere if you have a player's card. And some of them, for instance, Golden Nugget, as long as you've got a player's card, you don't, or the Ocean Casino Resort, you just show the card and you're out of there. The Caesars properties, which include Caesars, Harrah's, and Tropicana, they require either a certain level card, a diamond or 7 stars, or if you don't have that level of a card, if you earn 10 tier credits, they'll waive the fee. Resorts has a similar situation. So yeah, you pretty much can get free parking, as long as you don't just drive into the casino and stiff them. They'll validate your parking.
Okay, cool.
Now, you were talking about room rates. I was going to say that I'm planning. This is my first visit. I'm planning to Atlantic City in God knows how long, maybe 7 or 8 years.
Oh wow!
And I was looking because I'm going to stay at the Tropicana. I got a Caesars Entertainment. I just qualified for Diamond, so I was looking, and for Diamond they give you the room basically for free. You got to put in some play, of course, but it's free. But I was looking, and on a Thursday it was like $120, and the Friday it was like $170, and the Saturday it was $315.
Yeah.
So it's similar to what your experience was.
Yeah,
They're looking that stuff up.
Yeah,
now,
the weekends are traditionally more expensive than during the week, and as we get into warmer weather, anything past Memorial Day, and then it goes up even higher past 4th of July. That's when the season, quote unquote, really starts. Is then.
And people who aren't familiar with Atlantic City, it's not like Las Vegas. It's a lot more expensive, Atlantic City, relative to Las Vegas. Las Vegas, you can get some, rather cheap, inexpensive deals. Very hard to get in Atlantic City. So
yeah.
Just in general. But
yeah. Well, of course, Las Vegas has a lot more properties to,
yes.
more budget friendly.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
But in the question now for business conditions, do you notice if their casinos are coming up with more promotions or more comps? Because I'm hearing a lot. Matt and I are both hearing a lot about Las Vegas that the locals are tightening up. But you notice any difference in Atlantic City?
Not really. It's all based on your play. I mean, if you're giving the casino or the casinos that you play at, some play, they'll be more generous, but it's just all based on that. As you know, all the casinos now have got essentially predetermined comp dollar benefits. So, it's not like in the old days where you might approach a host and say, listen, my wife and I want to have dinner tonight. Can you set us up at X, Y, or Z restaurant? And now, if you don't have the reward credits to pick up that tab, that's about all you're going to get. You might be able to get away with something, once, but a lot of folks do try to convert their comp dollars into free play, and they say, "Well, gee, I don't have any comp dollars for my dinner tonight." Well, that'll work once, maybe twice, but anymore, the casinos have sort of wised up, and they're pretty strict with their rules.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but have there been any changes? Like, is it easier to earn your comp dollars or tier credits or any of that?
No, again, there are formulas that each of the casinos have now. I mean, again, I guess I'm most familiar with Caesars rewards off the top of my head. For every $5 in, you get 1 reward credit, and so there's really no variation there. They all have their own formulas. So it's you get what you earn, and that's basically it. Now, sometimes in a monthly mailer, if you're a regular player, there'll be a bonus, and they'll say, well, gee, come in between April 15th and April 30th, and we'll give you add 20 comp dollars to your account. So there's that. But again, you gotta show some play.
All right. Well, in your own personal experience, if you get your monthly mailer, have you noticed by any chance it being going down or
well, in my case, it's been going down because I haven't been going down to Atlantic City as much, and I'm not playing there as much. So I did notice a big difference in my offers, and that has nothing to do with my interest or disinterest in playing it in Atlantic City or any casino. It's just I haven't really felt comfortable going down there. And there just wasn't enough to drive. I mean, I have a Harrah's casino 20 minutes away, so if I really need a gambling fix, I can go there, and I'm still earning comp dollars and tier credits at my local Harrah's. Not everybody has that opportunity, of course, but with so many local casinos around the country, Atlantic City and Las Vegas now, they have to really work for the business, I think.
Now, question for you, because you said that they had some machines shut down to enforce the social distancing. Have you had any issues being able to play on machines that you like or that you prefer over other machines, or?
Not really, Matt. That hasn't been an issue. I've heard from some people, we all know people who they only like to play Buffalo or they only like to play Cleopatra. And in that case, yeah, there are going to be times when those machines aren't available because somebody else is playing them, whether it's because they prefer those machines or whether that's all that was available at the time. But I haven't had that experience personally. So.
Yeah, because I was at our local Hard Rock the other day with my girlfriend, and I tend to not play slots, but she likes to play them, and I was having difficult finding ones that I like to play because I just like the ones with all the bells and the whistles, and I was just wondering if that was the same for normal slot players as well.
Yeah, no, that's sort of my preference. I mean, I don't play one certain type. I mean, like you say, I like the video action and all the bells and whistles and stuff, and it hasn't been a problem. So. If there's something that looks interesting, I just move on to someplace else. I also like to try new machines. And many times those newer machines aren't as popular because people don't have a comfort factor with them because
they don't have the cult following yet.
Now, when I'm going on my trip in a couple of weeks to the Tropicana, when I made the reservations, they told me the casino is non-smoking. And I don't ever remember an Atlantic City casino being non-smoking. Is that something new? And is it all casinos or is it just Tropicana?
Yes, it is new. It's in all casinos, and it went into effect, I believe, with the last June or July reopening.
Great. My wife will love that. Yeah.
And the Pennsylvania casinos have followed suit. So there's no smoking in Pennsylvania. And what's interesting with Pennsylvania, and I bring this up only because many people who live in Pennsylvania, obviously go to New Jersey because they're so close. Philadelphia has a different set of rules in terms of they're all non-smoking. But in Philadelphia, one of the casinos there, you can't have a drink, even water. Whereas you go to one of the casinos in other parts of Pennsylvania, they're a little more lax because the government allows them to be. So, but in Atlantic City, it's the same all over, no smoking. And I read something the other day, and I don't have it totally committed to memory, but that the casinos are thinking very seriously that they may be able to go non-smoking and not have to be a detriment. And it's always been the theory that, gosh, if you don't allow smoking, they kind of go hand in hand with gambling. And they're finding with a lot of people now that it's not really an issue. So that's going to be an interesting issue to follow, I think.
Yeah, it's always been there's people on both sides. You either love it or you hate it. And I think it's tending to be more towards there's more people hating the smoke than there are loving the smoke these days.
Yeah.
Now,
some of the newer
go ahead.
I was going to say some of the newer casinos, I'm thinking about Borgata in Atlantic City, Ocean. And the new casinos, in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia Live, for instance, they have got such sophisticated, air transfer machines or whatever that even when people are smoking, you're in a smoking section, you really don't notice it. But they may not be able to turn those on unless things change.
Now, another question is, are there still amenities that are closed due to COVID precautions? Like, I assume all the buffets in Atlantic City are closed, yeah?
All the buffets are closed. There is one that's open at Hard Rock, but and I haven't been there, but it's sort of a combination of, I think there's a menu on each table. The servers bring you the food. The customers don't have a chance to really get near it other than maybe to be 6 weeks, 6 feet away to take a look at what the buffet is offering. But then you order from a menu or from memory, and the server brings it to you. But I'm not aware of any other casinos that are doing anything like that, at least in Atlantic City.
Now, it might be a little early in the season because it gets a little cold in Atlantic City, but what about the pools? Do you know if they're going to be opened?
I'm guessing yes, because some of the casinos have indoor pools. So Harrah's has an indoor pool that's open now. The Ocean Casino Resort, they have an indoor pool. So yeah, so the pools are opening. Their hours are very restricted. In I think all cases, they're limited to hotel guests. And in the case, many cases, there's an additional charge unless you have one of the higher level players cards. So you really need to go to the websites to see what's open and what's not. And even then, I would caution you, you can't always believe what you read. The casino websites, and I hate to put a blanket indictment here, they're almost all out of date. They just can't seem to keep up with what's going on. I was looking up something today, and it said, I think it was about one of the pools, and it said, well, the pool will be closed, and it listed some dates in December. I mean, that should have been taken off at some point,
Yeah. And now, what about shows? I know Atlantic City is not really known for their shows, but do they have any shows there, and are they open?
Well, again, I'm going to give it to Hard Rock. They have Jerry Seinfeld coming in next week, and there's another comedian, coming in May. I don't know the names. They have a weekend show called Motown Live, which is a review show. They do a show on Saturday nights and 2 on Sunday afternoon and evening. But that's really about it, other than maybe some small combos, playing background music in a lounge. Ocean has that in one of their lounges. Tropicana, you'll see that, Steve, on at the Tango's Lounge. They have some live music, but not the big production numbers. And of course, as you said, Atlantic City's never had the Cirque du Soleil type shows as Atlantic City, as Las Vegas has.
Now let me ask you about restaurants. Do you have to make? I assume it's limited capacity. So again, do you have to make reservations? Are there long wait times?
You definitely need to make a reservation, even for breakfast. And I learned it the hard way, staying at Caesars a couple of months ago. I had a reservation for dinner, but never did I think it would be an issue for breakfast. And I walked up to the hostess, and she said, "Do you have a reservation?" And I said, "Well, no." And fortunately, there wasn't too long of a wait. But I would definitely encourage anybody going to Atlantic City, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, make a reservation.
Now, what about outdoor dining? Are some of the restaurants offering outdoor dining now?
Not at this time. It's just still a little too chilly to be offering that. They all are offering takeout, and then you can go to consume your food and drink in your room, and again, I don't know that anybody else has this, but Caesars has an area they've blocked off in their parking garage, so you can take the food out there. It's a little warmer, but it's still, it's not like you're, in the real outdoors. But yeah, I don't think you're going to see outdoor dining come back probably again until, maybe middle to late May.
Now, another question is, most of the casinos in Atlantic City are owned by Caesars. And last year,
not most. There are only 3.
Well, it was 4. Bally's. They had Bally's, but they sold it. Are the new owners? Have you noticed? Are they doing anything to attract new people?
Not really. I've been very disappointed in Bally's. Even going to their website, I was, anticipating you might ask about pools, and so I was checking each casino's website. They have a beautiful indoor pool at Bally's. There's not a mention of it in their on their website. I've tried to get information from them about how much play it requires to earn a tier credit and a comp dollar, and nobody really responds. It's they claim they want to build up their customer base and reward them, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not sure what the problem is. They've certainly had several months to get their act together, but it's disappointing because they've got a nice facility there. It needs some work, and they're going to pour some money in because the state required them to in order to approve the purchase, but not much is going to happen until after Labor Day.
Now,
they can't afford to close down.
It's been a long time since I've been there, but Bally's was the one. Was that the one that Wild West was attached to?
Yes, they were part of Wild West was part of Bally's, but with the sale, Wild West went to Caesars.
Oh, okay.
So they're still all connected. You can walk right through without having to go out. But Wild West is now part of Caesars Rewards.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Now looking overall at the changes, that have happened to the casinos because of this COVID crisis. Do you think there's anything on just your personal opinion? You think anything positive came out of it for the players, or was it just all negative?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. Yeah, I don't see much positive. It just drove people to online gaming, or when the New Jersey casinos were still closed and casinos in neighboring states were open, it just took business away from Atlantic City, and the restrictions. I guess were necessary in terms of capacity in the restaurants. But what happened was, and even now, you'll find, Steve, that a lot of the restaurants are not open, and even though they could be, but the way they're configured in terms of the amount of square footage in the actual footprint of the restaurant and the way the tables are configured, if they stick to that 6 feet distance and the capacity limit, they could maybe only get 3 or 4 tables, and it's just not financially feasible for them.
Well, from my end, if it stopped the smoking in the casinos, I think that's good in the long run for players, because I think it's better to have a healthier environment.
Yes.
All right.
Now, if people want to learn more about you, where can they get information on your work?
Well, I guess I'm mostly billed as the 7 Stars Insider, and that's 7 spelled out, starsinsider.com is a website. I have a free monthly newsletter, which you can get by either sending me an email or just clicking a link on that site. And there's also a Mr. AC Casino .com website, and that has links to the other places that I do writing for. So yeah, there are lots of ways to track me down, and I'm sure people won't have too much trouble if they search for 7 Stars Insider.
Perfect.
Okay.
I saw your Steve sent me your newsletter from April Fools. I like that.
Oh, yeah. There are some people every year who get caught off guard, especially when I get new subscribers, and eventually they catch on. But I got a pretty nasty email from a lady last year who was upset that one of the parodies was about a 7 Stars event that was all fake, and she said, "I never got information about this. I would have been there if I had." And so yeah, it's meant all in fun, and it started just I don't know, it was just as a joke, and every year now when I keep thinking, oh, I don't think I can come up with anything, something always runs into my head. So it's a lot of fun, yeah. And it's part of the, if you want to download that, it's part of the April 2021 newsletters, and back newsletters are available on that website.
Perfect.
Okay, great. Darryl McEwen from 7starsinsider.com. Thank you very much for joining us today and giving us an update on the Atlantic City casino situation.
Okay, anytime, guys.
All right, take care.
Yeah.
You too.
All right, so that does it for our interview with Darryl McEwen. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, click on the bell, and turn on all notifications so you never miss any of our other great videos.
Yeah, and if you like to play at internet casinos, be sure to visit our other website at AmericanCasinoBonuses.com. You can go there. There's about 30 different offers. You can try them out. You don't have to deposit any money. You don't have to put up any credit card information. You can try them all out for free. Again, AmericanCasinoBonuses.com. Thanks very much for watching, and best wishes for good luck in the casinos.